Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday shift sessions. And I have Rajat with me today. So let me call him in. Hi, Rajat.
Hi, Manshu. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing today?
All good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I missed you for last 2 weeks, so I'm glad that you're back here. We're going to talk about some nice stuff today. So
Right.
with that, I think I'll start off. We're going to talk about communication today. Why effective communication is important as a leader, and not only as a leader but a team member as well, as a follower as well. But overall, in your professional career, it is going to have a huge impact on how you carry yourself, how you grow, and what you learn in your career. So with no further ado, I think we should start with that. And Rajat, today I want to start this off with a small example from my own career. And as a leader, we know that effective communication is very very important. Uh, but how I understood that it is a critical point was through a personal experience. And what actually happened is I used to work. It was when I was working with my first company. So I had a small team. I was given an opportunity to lead a couple of people, two people that I trained, and we did some great work. We were I was given a project, and we were the top supplier for that project in, I think, in just 6 months. So it grew from zero to 100%. I mean, we did a great job, and these girls were amazing. Both were girls, and women are amazing, we know. But these girls were amazing. We were doing some great stuff. And then, I was very, very young, and it was back in 2014, 15, I believe. Uh, the company saw that I was doing some great work with the team. They thought I'm a great leader. They gave me more opportunity. I got some new projects, and the team grew. I added more people in the team. But there something happened which I was not prepared for. The team grew, and with that growth, I assumed that these two women who were doing great work, they are going to be with me and work with me and help me grow this team, and we'll go do some amazing things together. That's what I thought, and that's what I shared with them. But that was all about me. I never spoke about what was in there for them, why they should be doing it, and what is going to be very critical for them in this period, and what was my expectation, and what will they get out of it. So I never shared that, and mm, to be very honest, there was a disconnect between us. Things were never the same after that. Both the girls left after some time, and I still thought that I trained them, I helped them grow in their career, and it was kind of disappointing for me to see them going, and I felt that maybe it is just like that. Later on, about a year after that, I realized in my career that that wasn't actually their mistake, that there was a lack of communication from my end. uh, so I think that becomes very very important. I never gave them the reason why they should be doing it, and there was no clear conversation where I told them why it was critical for them. I always spoke about why it is important for me or for the team, and that doesn't make any sense for them. So that's the communication part of it. Uh, and I think it is very very crucial to share that kind of information with your team. You work as a project manager with us. Why don't you talk about some of the stuff that you do with the team, or what are the important communication aspects that you follow at Amplify?
Right. So, Himanshu, the example that you shared with us, I have a similar example with me. So, I want to start with that. There was an email which I had to write to one of the clients when I started off in my career. It was a no. It was not a leadership role, Himanshu. It was just a QA role which I was handling
Yeah,
and executing. So I had to mention there were five issues which I had to mention in that
mhm,
email, and what is the root cause of those issues? I had to mention that. This was a very clear communication which was given to me by my manager. She was a mentor to me, and she was she was explaining me everything throughout that journey.
yeah,
So when I wrote that email, that email, I got a reply back. The issues are not clear. The root cause is not clear. What should be done as next steps? So it was my first project when I was testing it. It was very early for me when I realized communication is very important. I
Yeah.
then my manager came to me and she told me, we have to write effective emails. We have to start very early, that our communication and things, whichever we say or whichever we write, is very
Yeah.
much crisp and clear to the third person or the second person. So I
Absolutely.
started yeah so I started off writing good emails. And now it's kind of people tell me that I write good emails. And people ask me how to write that effectively. So I
Yeah.
always tell them that the other person who's reading that email shouldn't ask you any question related to that. If they are asking or they are confused about it, then it was not an effective email. So this is my idea of how to write and communicate effectively via emails. But
Yeah.
if we talk about the project management roles, and as a leader, or even I'll talk about the as a team member as well. So starting from whenever I'm assigning task to any of the developer or the tester, it's my responsibility that I have to communicate to them the task clearly. Otherwise, I'll be
Yeah.
the owner of that. I will be the person who should be held responsible for everything. So, starting off whenever the task is being assigned, and then clearly communicating it to the team how you have to report back to me. It's very important that how do I understand. It's not every team member will be synchronized enough with you that without saying things that they will be able to communicate very easily, very effectively. So you have to set the expectations right, as you said that this happened with you. You did not
Yeah.
set right communication path or communication channel to your team members.
Right.
So
Exactly.
this is what I believe, that for the developers, for the testers as well, whenever they are reporting back to their managers, or even if they are communicating with one another, they should be very crisp and clear. Not not just mentioning the issues like there's a bug in the form. What is that bug? How would we know this? This would increase the turnaround time, and we would never get to know, like, what is the bug, and we'll end up wasting so much time which we can utilize in another productive tasks. So
Exactly.
communication is important, I believe, from this point of view.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it is important to not only communicate as a leader. It is, of course, it is important for you to communicate the right way, but as a follower, even as just a team worker, team member, it is important for you to listen and understand what exactly your leader or your manager is talking about. What exactly do they mean? And one thing that I see lacking in this context is usually, when we talk about leaders, we believe that they'll train us, they'll give us feedback, they'll give us they'll tell us everything. But as an individual, what we lack is questioning anything from them. For example, if I've seen, there have been so many situations when the work has been allocated and the team member doesn't know how to do it, and they don't even talk about it. They don't even say that I don't know how to do it, or they don't even tell that I'm facing a challenge here or there. They might try to fix it, they might try to call their friend, but they lack that, they hesitate in telling that to their manager or their lead, that I'm stuck here, I don't know what to do from here, and can you help me? Why is that? Do you experience that? Why is that?
Exactly, Himanshu. That's a very good question, and a lot of people would be able to relate to this question. We face this. I mean, usually we face this kind of situation not in just my role, with any other role or any other leadership role. That we get to know at the end of the day sometimes, or maybe after a few days, that we were not able to execute this task because I did not know how to do it properly, or
Yeah.
I did not know the right path. So making your team comfortable enough so that they can speak out to you bluntly, or being honest at the right time, so that we don't end up wasting the other team members time or the client's time. It's time is very much precious. So having a right channel with your team and having the right bonding with the team can definitely help with this. And this just doesn't come with the team meetings regarding the projects, scrum meeting regarding the projects. we have to know what the developer is, and what kind of nature do they hold. So
Yeah,
as leaders, and also the developers should know what their managers will be comfortable about, and how they can be they can be informed about the problem.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
an initiative that can be taken from the managers, and things can be more transparent, more clear to everybody.
yeah. I think it all boils down to a couple of aspects. One is that you should be clearly communicating what you want somebody to do, and I think it should better be through emails or some written aspect. And there are in development there are user stories and there are things like that where it is clearly mentioned what to do, so the team remains on the same page. What challenges do you face, do you see there? And from a developer standpoint, is there anything that they can do, to get past any challenges like that?
Yes, Himanshu, I'll give an example regarding that. So I try to write the user stories as effectively as possible. Try to
Mhm.
explain all the scenarios.
Yeah,
Uh, but what happens is that whenever the task is being currently, we are not working out of the office. It's a very different situation right now. Since more than 1 year now, we cannot turn our backs and say, oh hey, what's the problem, this is the problem, and how to find a solution. So
yeah,
that was a team environment, and currently, we are working individually at our homes, but yes, we have to work with the teams. So now when it comes to the statuses, and when it comes to what is happening with one issue or with one feature, uh, I faced that there was not much transparency. So what I did, as you are aware, we are using a great project management tool here at Applify.
yeah,
So it has a lot of features. So I use this message section a lot on my projects. So what do we do is, for to eliminate that transparency issue, what I did, I started posting all the call notes on the messages itself. There's another project which we have set up for the Scrum meetings, but
yeah,
that was not effective enough. So I had to change the way, because I just need to know the status at the right time. So I use this messages feature a lot, and I post the call notes. I assign the task. I set the priorities to the team, and then at the end of the day, our team, they all have decided that we'll post our statuses back on that message itself as a comment.
yeah.
So it notification is shooting down to everybody, all the stakeholders, whoever is
Mhm.
involved in that project. They, if they want to see the project status, where it is, what kind of challenges did we face. So everything comes there. So it's just we have to find the right solution according to the team and according to the resources that we have.
Exactly, exactly. And I think as a manager, you want the team to clearly communicate all the aspects of their work to you. At the same time, I think you need to walk the talk as well. You need to make sure that you communicate
Exactly.
everything that you have on your side to them
Right.
clearly in a written way, so that I think then they are motivated enough to uh, do the same on their aspects, and they see that it's a two-way communication. It's no longer a it's not
Yeah.
that they're servant and they need to do what you're asking. That
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
that kind of a mindset is, again, it can be easily eradicated with a clear instruction, a clear communication with the team. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. And Himanshu, I'd like to add one thing here. So when the tasks are given, not just only the tasks, if they are clearly communicated, or if they are told very clearly to the team, uh, that doesn't just motivate. Only that is not the part that is motivating to the team. So
Yeah,
the things, what our client is thinking about us, what is their reaction when they received that demo. It was
yeah,
bad, it was good. So that needs to be communicated to the team, so that they know what is going on the other side of the project.
exactly.
So where do they need to put in the efforts? If we tell them, the client is not happy, and he did not like the demo. So what
Yeah,
did he not like the demo about? Was that a login feature which was not working? Was that whole ordering process which was not working? So we have to tell them clearly. is it the UX, it is the UI. So these all things add up a lot and motivates the team definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as a manager, as a project manager, what are the areas that a person need to improve on? Of course, we spoke about that a little bit, but how do they actually do it? Where do they start? Uh, how can somebody improve the communication issues?
Right. So, Himanshu, I think most of the starters or most of the interns who are at the entry level,
Mhm.
they face this problem and they ask me this question a lot. That how do we communicate our expectations? How do we communicate what needs to be done? So, first of all, the responsibility of any person is to know what is their right KRAs or the KPIs,
Yeah,
which are the areas they need to perform in for sure, and which areas would add value to their profile in the organization, what tasks needs to be executed on the daily basis. So if they are going to, of course it's the responsibility of the manager that they have to explain what is the right expectation. But sometimes if the managers are not if the managers are not able to communicate with you clearly, uh, we cannot tell them bluntly, this is the problem. But yes, we can ask them that, what are my right KPIs, how will my performance be judged. Let's start from there. And then every day posting about the status, not just every day, like maybe a weekly status, how are they doing on each of the tasks, keeping a check on everything, and sending up an email to their managers, how they have been performing and how they have been doing. So this is the basic step, how they can start and start emailing their managers, and noting down the right expectations, and communicating clearly with the managers and the team members. So
right.
this is the where we should start the area. Yeah, this is what
Sure,
I have.
sure, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's very very important. As a leader, I believe whatever role you're playing, a clear, concise communication is very very important. And some of the things that I believe in are having open meetings, open conversations with the entire team, where you share what you're doing this weekend, or whatever how's your life going. They should be knowing who you are as a person, and same is with you. You should be knowing as a leader. You should be knowing what your each member of your team, what they do, where they stay, what they like, what they don't like. I mean, not to a very small level. I mean, not at a micro level, at a very base level, but from a Hawkeye standpoint, you should know what your team is, who they are, what they do, uh, things like that, and what makes them tick is something you should be aware of, so that you can communicate correctly with your team. Uh, Emails, again, I see a lot of issues in the email, because sometimes it's too less emails, because we keep on relying on verbal communications with our teams. I think some email communication is critical, or like you said, on Asana or any other project management platform, doing that through a written way is very very important, because they want to they should be knowing, and they should be able to get back to your written content to see what exactly the instruction was, because human memory is too we don't have that long of a memory. Especially I am telling you from my personal experience, I can't remember things after a day. A small instruction, I might skip that after a day. So it is important to have that written somewhere, so that I can get back to that and look at it and work from there. I also think that another issue that I see more often is that one-on-one communications are not there. So one-on-one is very very important in order to give a clear feedback, a constructive criticism to someone, and that plays a huge part in someone's growth. So I think that should be there as a project team, or it could be for your manager, it could be for your peer, or it could be for your reportee. And I think that communication is very very critical. So one-on-ones are definitely 100% required if you're in a leadership role. Uh,
Exactly.
Another aspect that I believe in is listening to communicate is very, very important. What that means is, in order to communicate the right stuff, you should stop for a moment and listen to what the other person is saying, because unless you listen to what the other person is saying, you might be communicating in the best manner possible, but that would still not make any sense for the other person. And I'll give a quick example. For example, if you have a developer in your team or a QA in your team, and you want them to grow into a Scrum Master role, and you tell them that this is how you do it, this is how you go there, and this is what you become. But if you actually listen to them, if they don't want to get into that, if they want to do something else, then you might be telling them how to build a castle, but they don't want to live in a castle. So how why tell them that, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I
Himanshu,
mean, this was
yeah,
absolutely
that's right. But the example that you took is great. From this, I would like to ask you one question, Himanshu.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, for anybody who's trying to get into a management role, or from a team member to a leadership role, let's say a leadership role. So, do you think the communication plays a very important role? Suppose I am the manager, I have to choose a person, for a leadership role. And do you
Yeah.
think a person's communication, effective communication methods, are being judged there, and are they accountable? So this is what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think 100%. If you're an effective communicator, if you're someone, if I'm a manager and I need to pick someone from the team who could take a leadership role down the line, I think I'll definitely pick someone who is an effective communicator, who's able to clearly articulate what he wants someone to do, who's been able to, even if he's someone who's a troublemaker sometimes, because usually people who are effective communicators could be troublemakers sometimes, because they don't want to just listen to anything. They want to tell you that this is something they don't believe in, this is something that they don't want to do. So those kind of people are good for a leadership role, because they believe in something and they do something, and they are able to communicate that clearly. So I think that upfront nature, that candid approach, is very, very important in any role to grow into a leadership role, because you must be able to say no, and you must be able to judge when to do something and when not to do something. It's easier. Sometimes people take decisions, but they are not able to clearly communicate that to the team. So that decision making approach also doesn't help, because in the end, as a leader, you're not doing everything on yourself. I mean, you're not the only person there. There are other people who are following you, who are helping you to achieve something. And if
Right.
they're working in the opposite direction, you guys are doing something terribly wrong. So I think
Yeah.
that's a clear indication. I mean, if somebody is a clear communicator, concise and precise communicator, I think uh, that person could be a great leader. And this is something I believe, communication is something that you're not born with. You learn this over time, and you learn this from your experiences, from mistakes that you make. And anybody can be an effective communicator. It's just about staying where you are, just holding for a moment and listening to what the other person is saying, what they exactly want, what is it that will drive them, is what's important for you to communicate precisely. So yeah, I hope I answered your question there.
Definitely, definitely, yes. I mean, it's important. Like as you explained, so to every problem, most of the times, it is the communication that is lacking.
Yeah,
That's what I see and observe. If the communication is right, and you know, we should be able to do the job in the right way. And definitely,
absolutely.
yes, the communication is the key. To for the leadership roles. It's a very important point. This is
Yeah,
what I wanted to understand and convey to the people.
absolutely, absolutely. That's great. That's great. I think we've covered everything, Rajat. Do you have anything else that you want to add here?
No, I mean, this was a great session, I think,
Yeah,
and
this was
we
it.
covered,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, most of the
I
things.
it's also amazing that we picked this session out of a blue. We actually were not preparing for this. We were preparing for something else. But
Right.
then I had some experiences where I thought that this could be a great topic to talk about now, and I think this is a great topic to cover overall. If you guys need any help, if you want to be effective communicator, or you want to learn some of these areas, follow us, comment on our video, follow Rajat, add him on LinkedIn, follow me, and we are more than happy to. I'm presently working with some people to mentor them. So we are more than happy to mentor anyone. If you're looking for a mentor, follow us, reach out to us. We are more than happy to communicate with you and give you some time to learn. And I'm already doing that with a couple of people, so I'll be more than happy to connect further. Yeah. I think that's it. It was a nice session. Sorry, my tongue got stuck. It was a nice session, and yeah, I look forward to doing this more often. Last week you were not available, so I went ahead myself. In fact, last week I was not there as well.
Yeah,
But week before that I went ahead myself. Next week I look forward to doing another session with you. So we'll go with that.
definitely, definitely. Count me in, Himanshu, anytime.
Great, perfect. All right, Raja. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll connect next week.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Yeah, thanks. Bye bye.